There's 10 managers that every Arsenal fan hates. 10 of them. Do you want to know who they are? I'm going to tell you. At number 10, Maurizio Pochettino, manager of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I don't like you. Arsenal fans don't like you. And one of the reasons why we don't like you is because you're actually pretty good. Unlike most of the other Spurs managers in the past, you're actually decent. And you're actually starting to become a threat. And the fact that you manage Spurs Football Club, who we hate, and the fact that you're good and you're starting to give us problems, I can't like you. Maurizio Pochettino at number 10. Number 9, Alan Pardew, manager of Crystal Palace, but not so much since you've been at Palace. It's when you was at Newcastle. Who the hell do you think you are? Come disrespecting the great Arsene Wenger. Wanting to put your hands on the man. What's wrong with you? Hey? What is wrong with you, Pardew? For that, you're number 9. At number 8, it's that bottle job. Pep Guardiola. Yeah, you heard me, Pep Guardiola. Listen, we all know he's a great manager. We all know he's brilliant. Yes, there's a bit of sour grapes in it because he's gone to Manchester City and he's going to make them even better than what they are. But why didn't you hold off and then, when Arsene Wenger retired, come and work at a great club? Why did you take the easy option of loads of money, infrastructure, all that Arab money to just build an instant team? Just like what you did when you went to Bayern Munich, you inherited the best team. Just like what you did at Barcelona, inherited Messi and these guys. Why not challenge yourself for once? Guardiola, number 8. Number 7, Tim Sherwood. Whoa, Tim Sherwood. He comes from Boreham Wood. He ain't no fucking good. Tim Sherwood, he ain't no good. But we hate him anyway because he went and managed Tottenham Hotspur. Even though he's an Arsenal supporter, there with Addy Boy all with his. Where are you now? Come on, Tim Sherwood. You should have stayed as a Gooner, but you went to Spurs. And if you go to Spurs, you're going to get hated by Arsenal fans. Simple. Number 6, Martin Jol. Geezer's nearly as big as me. And he's another one who tried to push his weight around on Arsene Wenger. Started to believe the hype, started to believe that Spurs are going to finish above Arsenal. Started to believe he was a better manager than Arsene Wenger. What happened? He ended up getting sacked by Tottenham Hotspur. Martin Jol, hated by Arsenal. Tottenham manager, you know what goes with it. Number 5, Tony Pulis. I'm talking the West Brom Tony Pulis and the Stoke Tony Pulis. But in particular, the Stoke Tony Pulis, where he plays football, the baller just goes. Now listen, I've got a bit of respect for him because he always manages to keep teams up. But apart from that, the style of football is awful. And he sent out his players like Ryan Shawcross and all those other cloggers when he used to be at Stoke to deliberately try and injure Arsenal players. Tony Pulis, anti-football, rugby player, rugby manager, hated by Arsenal fans. Pulis. At number 4, Harry Redknapp. Kind of a likeable chap sometimes, you know. You know, that sort of a Cockney rogue. But you went and managed Tottenham Hotspur. You're always disrespecting Arsenal as well. Arsenal this, Arsenal that. You've retired now, and you're still on Arsenal's case all the time. I know your feelings are hurt because you had all those excellent players like Bale and Modric, and you thought you finished above Arsenal, but you didn't, did you? Harry Redknapp, I'm not even going to mention the tax case. You are hated by Arsenal fans, and you're at number 4. At number 3, Sam Allardyce. When he was at Bolton Wanderers, oh my God, I used to remember all the time he set up his teams to play against Arsenal in a certain way that he'd just try and rough us up. Nothing to do with football, just to go out there and try and rough us and rough and tumble. He even does the same now with Sunderland, to be honest. He's always had this complex when it comes to Arsene Wenger, where he just really dislikes him just because Arsene Wenger came over here and tried to play the beautiful game, and Sam Allardyce doesn't play the beautiful game, he plays the ugly game. And for that, Sam Allardyce, for your Bolton Wanderers teams and for all the other teams that you've gone to and just taught them to just hoof the ball a million miles into the air and run onto it, you're hated by Arsenal fans because we love the beautiful game. At number 2, Alex Ferguson, or should I say, I apologise, Sir Alex Ferguson. Fergie time, sending out your teams to cheat, like when Rooney dived, when we could have went 50 games unbeaten. Don't get me wrong, one of the greatest managers of all time, I'm not even going to deny it. He was brilliant. He had a certain way of setting up his teams. They beat us many times as well. But he had such a hatred for Arsene Wenger. Just because Arsene Wenger didn't have the budget that he had and was still able to be successful. I remember when Arsene Wenger first came to the country, he started saying, who's this guy? You come from the Japanese league? Arsene Wenger soon rubbed it in his face, didn't he? As I said, great manager, but for the fact that we were rivals for so long, I respect you, but I've got to hate you. Number 2, Alex Ferguson. At number 1, it could only be Jose Mourinho, manager of Chelsea and many other clubs around the world that he goes to and stays for a couple of years, then gets sacked, then goes to another one, gets sacked, ruins that one, gets sacked. Now don't get me wrong, very successful manager. He's got an outstanding record against Arsene Wenger. Before all you Chelsea fans jump in the timeline, yeah, Wenger's never beaten him. But there's a reason for that, because he doesn't play football against Wenger, does he? Nah. He drives up and he goes, ugh, and parks the bus every time. That's his strategy against Arsene Wenger. Park the bus, send players out to cheat, send players out to be cynical. It's worked for him to a degree, because as I said, he always gets the sack. Arsene Wenger's still there, and he always gets the sack. And if he gets employed by another club, he'll do it again, then he'll get the sack. And that's not even to mention him trying to put his hands on Arsene Wenger that time. And you know what nearly happened to him, did he? Wenger just pushed him off and said, where you going? Watch yourself, boy. And there was the other incident at Real Madrid where he tried to poke someone in the eye. I mean, a nasty piece of work. Jose Mourinho, number 1 hated manager by all Arsenal fans. So that's my 10 most hated managers. What are your 10? Let us know. Leave it in the comments below. You do well to find many better than that.
Subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV.
Who are the 10 best players ever to play for Arsenal Football Club? Tough, innit? Here's my 10.